Brethren, there are those who, though the years have multiplied upon them, walk among us with the countenance of youth still shining upon their brow. It is a wonder to many, but there are secrets to such vigor, hidden reasons why time has been gracious to them. Let us unfold these mysteries. There are faces in this world that seem untouched by the passing years, where the glow of youth has not been dimmed, and where the lines of care and sorrow have not carved their deep furrows. Such countenances, smooth and bright, speak not only of the outer body, but of the hidden well-springs of life within. It is not merely the application of costly balms, nor the devotion to strict regimens of preservation, but something more profound, something unseen, yet deeply influential. The brightness of a countenance is often the reflection of an inner reality, a testimony to the peace, joy, and wisdom that govern the soul. For some, this radiance is inherited, a gift from generations past, where the bloodline has been endowed with strength and longevity, but mere inheritance is not enough. For many who have been given such gifts squander them by a life of worry, bitterness, or reckless indulgence. The glow of youth remains not merely by the blessing of birth, but by the manner in which one walks through life. The one who smiles often, who carries no heavy burden of resentment, whose heart is not weighed down with envy or strife, such a one preserves the brightness of their countenance. Wrinkles come not only from age, but from the furrows of the soul, pressed deep by years of inward turmoil. Consider also the one who delights in the simple joys of life, who laughs freely and loves without restraint. There is a freshness in such a person, an ease upon their brow, and a light in their eyes. They do not carry the look of one who has been pressed down by relentless storms. Rather, they bear the face of one who has danced in the rain and found joy even amidst the tempests. Many seek to restore youthfulness through potions and treatments, but no ointment is so powerful as a heart that knows the secret of contentment. The most radiant skin is not that which is merely untouched by time, but that which reflects a life well lived, a heart unburdened, and a mind free from the poison of discontent. Moreover, those who keep a steady hand over their passions, who do not indulge in excesses that drain vitality, often retain the signs of youth upon their skin, the gluttonous, the reckless, the indulgent. Such people age before their time, for they have traded long-term health for short-lived pleasure. Yet the one who lives with wisdom, who nourishes their body with what is good, and abstains from what is ruinous, such a one often walks in an ageless grace. Their skin, firm and glowing, is a silent witness to the care they have taken, not only of their outer frame, but of the deeper well-being of their soul and body. In the end, the glow of youth is not merely a matter of years, but of a life governed by wisdom and joy. The one who walks in peace, who does not allow the world to press heavy burdens upon their shoulders, whose heart is rich in kindness and laughter, such a one wears youth as a garment, even as the years advance. It is not the absence of time, but the presence of grace that keeps the face unmarked by deep furrows, and this grace is found not in a vile, nor in the most luxurious treatment, but in a life lived rightly, with joy, wisdom, and a heart full of light. There are those whose years should, by all natural means, weigh heavily upon them, whose steps should be slow, whose shoulders should droop, and whose gaze should be dim with the burden of time. Yet, against all expectation, they move with a vigor that shames the young. Their laughter rings clear, their eyes sparkle with mischief and wisdom alike, and their presence is filled with a contagious energy that enlivens those around them. What is this mystery? What is this secret that allows them to stand unbowed, untouched by the weariness that time so often brings? It is not found in mere physical strength, nor in the fleeting advantage of youth, but in the power of the Spirit within, a spirit so lively, so resolute, that no number of years can dim its fire. The true measure of age is not found in the count of one's years, nor in the frailty of the body, but in the state of the soul. There are those in their youth who are already weary, whose days drag like an endless burden, whose hearts are dulled by cynicism and indifference. And yet there are others who, though their hair is silvered and their hands bear the marks of time, still walk with a spring in their step, still laugh with the unbridled joy of a child, still meet life with an eager expectancy. The passing of years may take its toll upon the flesh, but it need not dim the brightness of the heart. The spirit, when kept lively and filled with purpose, remains ever young, ever resilient, ever ready to embrace the day with zeal. A lively spirit is the enemy of sluggishness, the antidote to decay. The one who refuses to yield to weariness, who greets each day with the energy of one who expects great things, carries upon them an unmistakable aura of youthfulness. Such a person does not shun labor, nor recoil from challenges, nor shrink back from new endeavors. Rather, they seize upon opportunities with the zest of one who knows that life is not to be endured, but to be lived. They do not say, "I am too old for this," but instead ask, "Why not? What adventure does this day hold for me?" Such an attitude is a fortress against the creeping hand of time, for the heart that burns with enthusiasm does not permit the body to wither before its time. What, then, is the source of this unfading vitality? It is not found in the reckless pursuit of excitement, nor in the desperate attempt to cling to youthful pleasures. Rather, it is rooted in purpose. The one who lives each day with meaning, who finds joy in their labors and contentment in their path, is the one who remains ever young. Many who grow weary do so not because their bodies fail them, but because they have lost their reason to press forward. The one who finds purpose in serving others, in creating, in learning, in loving, such a one keeps the fire of youth burning within them, for they are ever reaching forward, ever discovering, ever growing. Moreover, a lively spirit does not dwell in the past, nor lament the days gone by. It does not say, "Oh, if only I were young again," but rather, "What joy can I find in this very moment?" The weight of regret, the heaviness of nostalgia, the sorrow of missed opportunities, these are burdens that age a man far more than the years themselves. The one who looks forward, who embraces the present, who finds wonder in every season of life, this is the one who defies the expectations of time. Their laughter is full, their curiosity unquenched, their delight in the world around them as fresh as it was in their youth. In the end, to have a lively spirit is to carry a secret strength, one that transcends mere physical vitality. It is a light that shines from within, making the face radiant and the presence electric. It is a force that lifts not only oneself, but all who come near, infusing them with the same unshaken enthusiasm. Such a one walks among us as a testament that youth is not found in the number of years lived, but in the fire that still burns within. Let the body bear the marks of time, let the hair turn white, let the hands grow worn, yet if the spirit remains ablaze with life, then no one will count the years, for they will only see the vigor of an undying soul. There is a beauty in movement that defies the passage of time. Some walk with a heaviness that speaks of weariness, their steps labored, their posture bent by the burdens of life. But then there are those whose very presence is marked by an effortless grace, their movements smooth, deliberate, and filled with a quiet energy that seems untouched by the advancing years. Such a person does not merely exist within time, but moves through it with an elegance that belongs to youth. Their steps are steady, their gestures fluid, their bearing upright, as if they have discovered the secret to resisting the slow decay that often comes with age. This gracefulness is not merely the result of physical fitness or well-preserved limbs. No, it is something deeper, something that flows from the harmony of mind, body, and spirit. A person who moves with ease has learned not to fight against life, but to flow with it. Their body is not stiffened by years of resistance, nor weighed down by regret or sorrow. They have mastered the art of balance, not only in the physical sense, but in the way they approach life itself. They know when to move and when to be still, when to exert and when to yield, when to advance and when to step back. Such a balance preserves them from the stiffness that overtakes those who have lived in constant strain. Consider the one who has lived with bitterness, whose every step seems heavy with unspoken grief, whose posture bears the weight of burdens long carried. Their movements, once free and unrestrained, have become stiff, slow, hesitant. They no longer glide through life, but drag themselves forward, each motion revealing the years of struggle within. But the one who has learned to release such burdens, who does not clutch tightly to past wounds or present anxieties, finds that even their very body moves with a freedom unknown to others. Their limbs do not resist them, their steps do not falter, for they are not shackled by invisible chains. Moreover, a graceful movement is often the mark of a mind that remains youthful and engaged. The one who is eager to learn, who remains curious, who delights in activity, will often carry themselves with an energy that makes them seem far younger than their years. Have you not seen those who, though well into their later years, move with a liveliness that puts the young to shame? They walk with purpose, with a lightness that speaks of a heart unburdened. Their hands move with precision, their steps are measured yet unhesitating. They do not trudge as though life has become a mere duty, but rather they seem to dance through the moments, fully present and fully alive. It is also true that those who retain gracefulness in their movements often treat their bodies with care, not in vanity, but in wisdom. They do not neglect the vessel they have been given, nor abuse it with recklessness. They stretch and strengthen, they nourish and rest, they listen to what their body requires, and do not take for granted the gift of movement. Such a person does not waste their energy in frantic busyness, nor do they grow idle in neglect. They understand that life is a delicate balance, that the body must be honored as a tool, not merely for labor, but for joy. Their motions reflect this understanding. They do not stumble through life, but tread upon it with grace. Yet even beyond the physical, the way a person moves through life speaks volumes about their inner state. The one who walks confidently, who carries themselves with dignity, who moves with intention and poise, this person does not simply appear younger. They radiate a timeless quality. Their presence commands attention, not because they seek it, but because they embody the quiet assurance of one who is at peace with themselves and their journey. The anxious, the restless, the fearful, such people betray their inner turmoil through fidgeting, through hurried and uneasy gestures. But the one who has found contentment moves without haste, without hesitation, without unnecessary strain. Furthermore, there is a humility in true gracefulness. The one who moves with ease does not draw attention to themselves, nor do they strive to prove their youthfulness. They do not exaggerate their energy to impress others, nor do they resist the natural rhythm of life in a desperate bid to hold on to what is passing. No, their grace is found in their quiet confidence, in their ability to move without struggle, to flow without force. They are at home in their own skin, and this comfort radiates through their every motion. In the end, graceful movement is a sign of a life well lived, of a person who has not allowed the weight of time to hinder them. It is the mark of one who has embraced both the strength of youth and the wisdom of age, blending them into a harmonious whole. Such a person moves through the world as though they belong to it, neither resisting the years nor succumbing to them. They do not appear younger simply because of the way they look, but because of the way they move, the way they live, the way they carry themselves with an ease that time itself cannot take away. It is a peculiar thing when a person walks among their peers and yet seems untouched by the hands of time. Their face does not bear the deep etchings of sorrow. Their body does not stoop with the weariness of years. Strangers gaze at them in wonder, doubting the number of years they claim, while friends who have long known them shake their heads in amazement, marveling at their unchanging vitality. "What is your secret?" they ask, as though some hidden elixir must sustain such an ageless appearance. Yet the secret is not found in the remedies of men, nor in the pursuit of fleeting vanities, but in the way a life is lived, in the spirit with which one meets each passing year. There are those who age before their time, whose faces grow heavy with the burdens they bear, whose very presence speaks of exhaustion, though their years be few. And then there are others who seem impervious to the decay of time, whose every word and action carry the brightness of one untouched by weariness. What makes the difference? It is not merely a matter of fortunate genetics, nor is it the result of external treatments alone. Rather, it is the inward condition of the heart and mind that shapes the outward appearance. A heart untroubled, a mind at peace, a soul filled with joy, these things do more to preserve a person's youth than all the ointments and powders that the world can offer. The one whose age is often mistaken for much younger is rarely a person consumed with stress. They do not allow the cares of life to carve deep lines upon their brow, or weigh their steps with undue heaviness. They have learned to let go of what they cannot control, to trust rather than fret, to move through life with a spirit of gratitude rather than discontent. Anxiety ages a man faster than time itself, while peace of heart renews him daily. The face that smiles often, that finds joy even in small things, retains a brightness that defies the years. Consider the one who has made bitterness their companion. Their countenance is hardened, their expression perpetually weary. They may be young in years, yet they carry themselves as though the weight of a lifetime has already settled upon them. Contrast this with the one who embraces life with hope and expectation, who refuses to be crushed by disappointment. Though their years be many, they move with the energy of one far younger, and their presence exudes a warmth that draws others in. It is not merely the absence of wrinkles or the preservation of physical strength, but the presence of an undying spirit that makes them appear ageless. There is also a certain mystery about those who are often mistaken for being younger. It is not simply their physical appearance, but their manner, their speech, and their engagement with the world that defies their years. They are not stagnant, nor do they cling to the past with a desperate grip. Rather, they are ever learning, ever growing, ever discovering. They do not shy away from new experiences, nor do they resign themselves to the belief that their best days are behind them. The youthful spirit does not come from denying one's age, but from embracing life at every stage with enthusiasm and grace. Such a person also carries themselves with an ease that makes them seem untouched by the passage of time. They do not move as though the world has beaten them down, nor do they bear the hesitancy of one who has surrendered to decline. Their steps are firm, their gestures fluid, their energy undiminished. They do not slump in resignation, nor do they drag themselves forward with reluctance. Instead, they walk as one who is fully present, fully engaged, fully alive. There is a lightness in their movement, a confidence in their bearing, that makes it difficult for others to believe the true measure of their years. Moreover, the one who appears younger than their age is often deeply connected to others. They do not isolate themselves, nor do they withdraw into a small and shrinking world. Instead, they cultivate relationships, finding joy in the company of both the young and the old. They laugh, they listen, they share, and in so doing they keep their hearts youthful. The lonely, the withdrawn, the bitter, these age quickly, for they have lost the warmth of human connection. But the one who continues to love, to build friendships, to invest in the lives of others, finds that time does not press so heavily upon them. It is also true that those who are often mistaken for being younger do not give themselves over to idleness. They do not sit back and say, "I have lived enough, let others now take my place." Rather, they remain active, engaged in meaningful work, whether for their livelihood or for the simple joy of contributing. A purpose-filled life is a life that resists decay. The idle, the complacent, the disengaged, these grow old not merely in body but in soul. But the one who continues to create, to build, to serve, finds that time has less power over them, for they are too busy living to be consumed with aging. Yet let it be known that the one who appears younger than their years does not do so by striving after youth itself. They are not obsessed with preserving what is meant to change, nor do they chase after fleeting trends in the hope of masking the inevitable. Rather, they accept the passing years with grace, knowing that true youthfulness is not in resisting age, but in living fully at every stage of life. It is not the desperate clinging to youth that makes one appear young, but the quiet confidence that each season of life has its own beauty, its own vigor, its own purpose. In the end, the one who carries the secret of youthfulness does so, not because they fear growing old, but because they have never ceased to embrace life. Their years are many, but their heart is ever young. Their body may bear the marks of time, but their spirit remains undaunted. And so, when they walk into a room, when they speak, when they laugh, when they move, those around them pause in wonder. Surely, they say, this one has found the secret to youth. But the truth is simpler than they realize. It is not a secret at all, but a life well lived, a heart well kept, and a soul that refuses to grow weary. There are those whose bodies may bear the weight of many years, yet their minds remain as fresh and agile as in their youth. The sharpness of their thoughts, the curiosity that still burns within them, the eagerness with which they approach new ideas, all these make them appear untouched by time. They do not simply exist, they continue to grow. While others resign themselves to mental stagnation, these individuals remain alert, observant, and deeply engaged with the world around them. Theirs is a mind that has not been dulled by routine, nor worn thin by monotony, but one that is ever expanding, ever seeking, ever thriving. A sharp mind does not come by chance, nor is it merely a gift of nature. It is cultivated, sharpened like a well-honed blade, kept alive through exercise and effort. Those who allow their thoughts to grow sluggish, who stop questioning, who no longer seek to understand, will find that time quickly overtakes them. But the one who remains curious, who hungers for knowledge, who delights in the discovery of new truths, such a person remains young. No matter how many years they have lived, their mind, ever in motion, refuses to settle into the lifeless routine of mere existence. There is something remarkable about the person who continues to learn long after many have chosen to stop. They pick up new skills, embrace new challenges, and refuse to be bound by the limitations of age. Have you not seen such individuals, those who, even in their later years, take up a new language, study a new subject, or master a new craft? Theirs is a mind that resists decay because it is constantly in youth. Just as a river that flows remains fresh while a stagnant pool grows stale, so too does the active mind stay sharp while the idle one withers away. Curiosity is the secret elixir of the mind. It is the force that keeps a person engaged with the world, that prevents them from falling into mental slumber. A curious mind never grows old because it never ceases to ask, to wonder, to seek. The moment one stops questioning, the moment they assume they have learned enough, they begin the slow decline into intellectual fatigue. But the one who retains a childlike curiosity, the one who asks, why, and what if, and how does this work, that person continues to discover life afresh every day. Many mistake age for wisdom, but the truth is wisdom belongs to those who continue to learn, regardless of age. There are those who, though young in years, have already become set in their ways, unwilling to challenge their own thoughts, resistant to new ideas. And yet there are others, well into the latter years of their lives, who still possess an open and eager mind, ready to receive new knowledge, willing to consider perspectives they have not yet encountered. These are the ones who appear younger than their years, for their minds have not been locked in the past, but are ever reaching forward. A sharp mind also requires discipline. It does not thrive on idle entertainment, nor does it grow strong by feeding on trivialities. The person whose thoughts are consumed with gossip, distractions, and meaningless pursuits will find that their mind becomes dull, unresponsive, slow. But the one who seeks out knowledge, who reads deeply, who engages in meaningful conversations, who thinks critically about the world, they are the ones who keep their minds vibrant. Their intellect does not fade because it is constantly being challenged, stretched, and strengthened. Such a person also knows the importance of deep reflection. They are not merely seekers of information, but thinkers who meditate upon what they have learned. They do not skim the surface of knowledge, but dive into its depths. They wrestle with complex ideas. They analyze, they question, they apply. Theirs is not a mind content with mere facts, but one that seeks understanding. This depth of thought not only preserves their mental sharpness, but also lends them an air of wisdom and youthfulness that captivates those around them. Furthermore, the sharp mind is not only a learner, but also a teacher. It is not hoarded knowledge that keeps the mind young, but shared wisdom. Those who teach, who mentor, who pass down what they have learned, find that their minds remain ever active. The process of teaching requires articulation, organization, and engagement, all of which keep the intellect strong. The teacher is never stagnant, for they must always refine their own understanding in order to guide others. Thus, in the act of giving knowledge, they themselves remain youthful and alive. A curious mind also fosters adaptability. The world changes constantly, and those who resist change, who cling desperately to old ways without considering the new, often find themselves left behind. But the one who remains curious, who is willing to learn and adjust, who embraces the evolution of ideas, such a person never truly grows old. Their mind is not burdened by fear of change, but excited by the possibilities it brings. This adaptability gives them an air of youth, for they move with the times rather than being left behind by them. The sharp mind does not grow weary of life, for it is ever finding something new to explore. Such a person does not wake each morning with dull resignation, but with eager anticipation. They do not see life as a series of days to be endured, but as a continual adventure of discovery. Every moment holds the possibility of learning, of growth, of deeper understanding. They do not envy the youth for their years, for they themselves carry within them the secret to staying young, the relentless pursuit of knowledge and wisdom. Yet, let it be known that this is not a mere intellectual pursuit. The sharp mind is not one that is proud, arrogant, or puffed up with knowledge for the sake of appearing wise. No, the truly youthful mind is one that remains humble, always aware that there is still more to learn, still more to understand. It is not the one who claims to know everything who stays young, but the one who acknowledges that they have only begun to grasp the vastness of knowledge. Humility keeps the mind open, and an open mind keeps the years at bay. In the end, the sharp and curious mind is a treasure, a fountain of youth that does not fade with time. It is a mind that refuses to grow weary, a mind that embraces each day as an opportunity to grow, to explore, to seek out truth. Such a person walks among us. Their years many, yet their spirit unaged. When others look upon them, they marvel, for they see not merely a person of many years, but a soul that has never ceased to learn. This, indeed, is the secret to youthfulness, an unquenchable thirst for wisdom, a mind ever reaching forward, and a heart that never tires of discovery. There is a mystery in the countenance of those who wear the years lightly, whose faces seem untouched by the burdens of time. While many go about with furrowed brows, carrying the visible marks of care, there are some whose expressions remain serene, whose presence exudes an air of peace and delight. What is their secret? It is not merely a matter of outward beauty, nor the use of fine garments or adornments. No, it is something deeper, something unseen but unmistakably felt. It is the joy of the heart, the lightness of spirit that comes from knowing peace rather than worry. The troubled heart carves its mark upon the face, etching lines of sorrow upon the brow, weighing down the eyes, drawing the corners of the mouth into perpetual weariness. How often do we see those who, though still in their youth, appear aged beyond their years, simply because of the burdens they bear. Their thoughts are consumed with anxiety, their hearts heavy with fears, both real and imagined. Such a life robs a person not only of peace, but of the very vitality that gives youth its radiance. Worry does not merely trouble the mind, it wearies the whole being. But consider the one who has learned to rest, to trust, to find joy even in the midst of uncertainty. Their heart is not free from trouble, for no life is without its trials. Yet they do not permit those trials to consume them. They have discovered the secret of casting off excessive care, of refusing to be mastered by fear. This joy, this quiet confidence reflects upon their face, brightening their features, softening the edges of time's hand upon them. While others carry the weight of the world upon their shoulders, they walk lightly, their countenance unmarred by the scars of ceaseless worry.